Is this a global upheaval, and what do we need to do?
I've been doing this full-time my entire life, and I thought I was really good at saying live in the moment, live your highest life, all of that, until I was on someone's podcast, and the whole idea was that I was going to help solve a cold case. And I don't do cold cases. I do missing people because I want to help them in the moment, because I was a missing child. I was abducted when I was a kid over a period of 3 days. So I got involved in this cold case, and I realized what took place, but the person that had passed came to me and said,
Are you ready to shine? Shine bright.
woohoo!
Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel. Higher self, higher team, and all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help me to help Annette today. Please help us to help everyone today. Please help us to shift consciousness today for our highest good, for the highest good of all, or something even better.
Woohoo!
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever felt the shifts in the air, the cosmic tremors, the collective awakening, the whispers of a new timeline calling you forward, then do we have the Annette Bricca Navigating the Quantum Leap show for you. Today we'll be talking with Annette Bricca, visionary prophetic guide, near-death experiencer, and one of the most startlingly accurate voices on where humanity is headed next and how to ride the wave of transformation without fear. So welcome to the show, Annette. I feel like saying welcome back to the show, Annette, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Are you ready to shine?
I'm excited. Yes, I feel like I shine already. I feel like you shine more than I do. Let's shine together, but I'm absolutely dying for this. And I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Are you kidding? A, there's no way you could be shining any less than me. B, dying, not a chance, at least not today, I hope. But
I don't think I'm dying. Yes, no, I agree with that. Yes.
Before we dive right into things, though, Annette, you've seen the future in ways most people can't fathom. Timeline splitting, energy accelerating, and a great awakening unfolding. Right now, so many are feeling the chaos, but missing the divine reset that's hidden within it. So what's really happening beneath the surface of this global upheaval, and how can we use it to step into our highest density or step into our greatest light?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a great question, and it's a question that seems like it's new, but it's not. It's the same old question. And I was sharing with you just a little while ago before we went on air that I had, so I've been doing this. I'm 58 years old. I've been doing this since I was 12. I started as a traumatic experience that happened to me. I then started helping the police and the FBI at the age of 13, helping find missing children. And I have been doing this my entire life and doing readings then from that point on. But when I think about my life, like the last 45 years of doing this, it's not different. It's different things that happen. We have different presidents, different disasters, different wars, economy, all that same story, but it's the person's perspective. What I recently realized myself, so I thought I did a good job of, I do lots of readings. I've been doing this full time my entire life. So I have, thousands of clients, and they usually last, when someone's with me, they stay with me for 25, 30 years. And I thought I was really good at saying live in the moment, live your highest life, all of that. And I was talking a good game, and I don't want to make it sound like I was just talking a good game until about 3 months ago. I was on someone's podcast, and the whole idea was that I was going to help solve a cold case. And I don't do cold cases. I do missing people because I want to help them in the moment, because I was a missing child. I was abducted when I was a kid over a period of 3 days. So I remember like it was yesterday. So I want to help as much as I can. And that's more work than I can do. So that's why I don't do cold cases. So I got involved in this cold case, and I realized what took place, but the person that had passed came to me and said, listen, don't go on anyone's podcast, or you're not a news anchor. Don't tell my story unless if you understand love. You need to convey this.
Let me pause you for a second. So the person on the other side of the veil who had been passed on, or we'll use the term murdered, said, that's not what, you're not going on there about solving my case. What you're going on is about.
Yes, love. And I Thought, what do we do? I'm already here. You've already shown me what happened. And if I'm allowed, I would like to say who it is, not because of the sensationalism, but because of the impact of, because I feel like it's even more meaningful to hear that part. Could I say who it was?
You do you.
Okay. I say that all the time too. So it was JonBenet Ramsey. So when I did the JonBenet Ramsey case, when she came to me and said, do not go on and tell anybody the things that I have just showed you, because she showed me what happened. She goes, if you cannot convey love. And I said, I'll do it. But she knew I couldn't. She goes, no, you can't. And I said, well, then show me how to do it. And I thought, well, what? And this is like an actual conversation.
I love it.
They're
I get it.
visiting me in Austin, Texas. And I'm like, okay, show me. In 1 second, Michael, she put in the thought in my head because I was kidnapped as a child. And so my kidnappers, one is on death row, and one I found out a couple of years ago lives not far from where I live now. I didn't know that until recently, 2 years ago. So when I first did the first podcast with Suzanne Giesman, who's a client of mine, and then kept asking me to go on her show, I then told my story. When I told my story because I found out recently that he was out of jail. Both of them were sentenced to 30 to 60 years in prison, but I didn't know where they were. I didn't know if they were out or not. They both reoffended. So one's on death row. When I found out the one that's not on death row, who, by the way, had escaped from prison, went many years before from Schenectady, New York, and he was on the run for over a 7-month period and then came and kidnapped me. It was a setup. He came in particular to get me, which I didn't know until after the trial and all of that. When I found out that he lives near me 2 years ago, I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be, because I didn't really ever tell anybody my story. I did a lot of readings all these years for very famous people throughout the world, but nobody knew my story. So when Suzanne said, can you come on my show? I said, yeah, I will. Even Suzanne didn't know. When I told her, and you know how Suzanne is. When I told Suzanne, she's like, what? And she didn't know the whole story. So when I told my story, it changed because then it was like a new level of respect. People that I had been giving readings to, I think, thought, well, you're psychic. You know what's going to happen. You don't know what it's like to have a difficult life. When I told them, here's what I've gone through. So then they realized, like, from a human perspective, that I get the big picture because I've gone through all this. However,
can I tangent you? Can I bookmark that and tangent you? Because I can hear our audience saying, and I know from a spiritual perspective, but I want to understand from a physical perspective. You said that he was on the run for 7 months and was specifically looking or targeting for you.
So what happened was my parents were divorced. I'm from Chicago. When they got divorced, my mother, my brother, and I, and my sister moved to Michigan with her boyfriend. While we were in Michigan, I was starting 7th grade. So it was the weekend before school was going to start, 7th grade weekend. And I asked my mom, can I spend the night at my best friend's house next door? And my mom was not mother of the year, to say the least, but she wasn't. And she said no. And that was not something she would usually say. What ended up happening, so that weekend, that Friday night, I was kidnapped from my home. And to give you some perspective, the home that I lived in Michigan was like the Amityville whorehouse, many levels, 3-story home. There were a lot of people living in there. So, and I was on the top. I was the only child and only person sleeping on that 3rd level of the home. So you had to go through it was an old home, all these levels to get me. So you had to know where you were going. So I was kidnapped by these 2 gentlemen. I say gentlemen, but 2 bad guys. And they put duct tape on my mouth and my eyes, put me in a car, drove me to another location. And over a 3-day period, I was raped, beaten, and tortured for 3 days. But what is profound about this is, so I always knew that I was psychic growing up. My grandmother was kind of a famous psychic in Chicago. I knew I was psychic, but I knew many things, but I didn't care about it. When I was 10, because this happened to me when I was 12. When I was 10, I was shown like a videotape of what I thought was just other people's lives, was my life, of this girl, this 12-year-old girl, everything that took place, and I was shown that she was going to get out of it. And in real time, I was like a movie. You and I were just talking about a movie you had just seen. I was like cheering her on, like, you're going to get out of it. Keep your wits about you. You have to stay alert. I don't know how you're going to, but you will. When I realized that was me, because I didn't realize it until like the 2nd day, there was a Christian radio station that was on in this room when I was kidnapped that was saying that if you believe in God, ask for God for your help, and God will do whatever you want. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. God, I could use you.
Be- because of the, I want to say confused. It's not confused. It's the opposite of confused. But because of the confused timelines, do you think that the you that was earlier, that was speaking to the you that was going through this, was literally speaking to the you, and we were getting those messages while you were there,
Yes.
duct taped
Yes.
and so forth?
Yes. Because what I tell people is time is an illusion. So I thought
Thank you.
it's real person now person. It's 58-year-old Annette telling 12-year-old Annette, keep your get out of this. Because had I not seen what would have happened before that, I would have, because I was actually, I said to a few people at that time, so I was there for 3 days, but I had no concept of time. By the third day, I was really drugged, really beaten. I was having difficult breathing, and I would have wanted to die. I would have just given up. But because I realized, like, when I heard that radio station, as crazy as this sounds, when I heard, if you believe in God, I'm like, okay, God, yes. Okay, you know what? I'm
Oh,
sure
the irony.
yeah, I'm sure yeah, right. I'm sure you're helping other people, but you know what? I could use some help. And I got brave and I took the tape off my eyes and I saw a window. I was on the second story of this home and I saw a window and it was in September and the shears were billowing and I thought, I'm gonna jump out the window. But I didn't have this grand plan. I just knew that like I had to get myself out because right before that, when I took the tape off my eyes, I saw a phone next to this crack mattress that I was on, like an actual telephone. These idiots, these kidnappers had a phone next to me, but I didn't know it because I had this tape on my eyes. When I saw it, I picked up the phone, I called my mother, and when I called, the police and the FBI were there, and they got on the phone. They said, "Look around your surroundings. Tell us where you are." But all I could see were houses. I had no idea. And they said, "You need to get yourself out of there. You're on day 3. You don't usually last, but you have to get out." That's when I got dressed and I jumped out of a second story window. I broke my foot and I went and all this happened. But what I tell everybody is then when you fast forward to this, the trial took place. They were caught. They went to prison for 30 to 60 days each. I then went and moved in with my father. And it was a year later. And I said to my dad at 13, because now here I am working for the FBI. I am in 8th grade now in Chicago doing social study reports, but I'm helping find missing children. During the time that I was preparing for my own trial, and I was telling these 2 FBI agents that were in my home when I was missing that I kind of knew it was me. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "Listen, we have other missing children as well. Can you help us?" So while I was preparing for my case, I solved 2 missing child cases during that time that just helped me because it helped me get through the trauma, what I was dealing with, not realizing like the big picture. So a year later, when I was living with my father, and I said, "Listen, how would they know about me?" Because that was the thing. When I testified in court back in 1979 when this happened as a minor, so even though I was all over the news, I was on TV, they blanked out my face, they didn't tell my name, but people knew something happened to this young girl. During the trial, I didn't have to be in there while they were testifying and vice versa. So I didn't hear what they said. So I said to my dad, "How would they know who was me?" So he told me, he actually showed me 2 New York Times articles that had come out that one of the bad guys had escaped 7 months prior from a prison in Schenectady, New York. The other bad guy was already living in Michigan, so they were going to meet up. He was going to drive out there. But what ended up I finding out was that my mother, who, like I said, was not Mother of the Year, had a lot of problems, a lot of, mental health problems, abuse problems, substance abuse problems. She was in a bar with her boyfriend and had made a $5 bet that if she lost, she would leave the back door unlocked and he could come and kidnap me. When I found that out a year later from my father, because I I didn't know that. But what's interesting is it changed my life in a way that, so even though I thought, like, how could my mom do this to me? Because I had a near-death experience when I was 8. That near-death experience, which sounds like, oh, who cares? I instantly had that near-death experience, and I tell people often it was like kind of a classic near-death experience. It wasn't, some people I see, say, "Oh, I was on the other side for seemed like 4 years, and all these people came to me." Yeah, I didn't have that, but at 7 or 8 years old when I had it, I knew that there was a bigger life, bigger picture to life. I felt old and I knew that whatever my life was going to be like, I was going to be okay. I knew then that I was gifted or had this psychic gift for a reason, but I didn't know why. I didn't care. I wanted to ride my bike. When my father told me that my mom was involved in it, I was hurt like on a personal level, but then on a spiritual level, I was reminded that I went through all this because I was going to help all these people. I was in eighth grade. I didn't want to help all these people. I wanted to just, you know, do my social studies report. But from that point on, I have been helping thousands of people with missing children. And so now when JonBenet Ramsey came to me, so this is kind of we fast forward to this point, and when she said to me, I'm going to show you love, and I thought, okay, give it a try, we'll see. And when she put in my heart love for my kidnapper, okay, which is again the opposite, because when I was on somebody's podcast, I said, listen, I'm going to go get him. Because I believe he's responsible for 7 murders. So on that 7-month period of time when he was, crossing the United States to come and get me, there were 7 girls that were murdered. 4 have been identified with the FBI, and we're looking to identify the other 3 because I want to put him back in jail. That was my whole mission. That was why I went on the podcast. After JonBenet put this love in my heart for my kidnapper, which I never thought would be possible, so it wasn't a one-shot deal. Even to this day, Michael, when I wake up, I send love. Okay. I don't pray when I wake up. I send love to my kidnapper. I say, wherever you are, forgiveness, because I do forgive him. Forgiveness, I don't just forgive you, I love you, and I'm sending you love. So think about that. Loving you and sending you to love is 2 different things. I care more that he has a better life and a better day today than I do, because I have such empathy for him and such love. So when I do readings now, okay, and I was just on it, I just did a podcast a couple days ago, and the host asked me about Iran and if I thought it would be bombed, and I said yes. And then less than 24 hours, it happened. And I said to a couple of people, listen, I even though I can do these things, I can predict these things, I think it just creates more fear. I don't want people to be fearful. I want people to do you. Like a lot of people say to me, I'm worried about the economy. I'm worried about the government. I'm worried about Social Security. I go, listen, worry about being adequately funded. If you need a job, get a job. If you don't, if you have enough money, you're fine. Don't worry about the world. If you worry about you and you worry about spreading love and joy, and we all do that individually, then collectively, I believe that we raise humanity. And I believe that's when life changes. Because think about it, your whole life, don't you think there's always some drama? Famine, war. Yeah, so it's not, so 2000.
If you have a pulse.
Yeah, right. 2025 is not new. It feels new, but people are still fearful. I say, and I feel so grateful and lucky. I mean, I feel lucky to have the life that I had, as horrific as it was, because every day I think like, look at me. My life is great. And I used to say, I did not jump out of a 2nd-story window to not have a fabulous life. And it makes me cry, so there's been a lot of times I didn't have a lot of money. I was a single parent. I didn't have like the most charmed life, but I thought I did. And that's the difference.
It's something I was talking about in a newsletter earlier today. Celebration was the topic in the newsletter, which is, yes, there's this bombing going on. And you and I both talked off air about, I am still setting bubbles. Oh my God. You want to talk about protective dome of love and light. It's over Iran. It's over the whole Middle East. It's over the whole world. And then I'm picturing, figures holding hands around the whole globe. Certainly. And at the same time, I know we're on the same cloth. At the same time, I am saying you can focus on that, and you are the creator, and you bring more of that. That doesn't mean we don't focus on the love behind it. This is to Pope John Paul II up. That's what you've done, is when he went in and he met with the person who tried to kill him, and then he got him released. That's what you're doing. So if we play at that level of the game, then you have everything to celebrate as the creator that you are. Celebrate this moment. No matter what it is, look for the thing that you can celebrate, and you will have more of that to celebrate, but you will be literally, this isn't just law of attraction, you will be creating it.
Yes. I tell people all the time, forget law of attraction. I say, when The Secret came out, I lived in Long Island. My daughter was like 6 years old. I was a single parent, and everybody on my block was like, oh my God, The Secret. And I go, the secret about The Secret, it's not a secret. Okay. That number one. Okay. That's it. But it goes further, because it's really like quantum physics. When you think about it, and I'm no genius. Okay. I lose my keys. I was telling somebody we had our house redone and I needed to like measure curtains and I was having a hard time. My husband's like, whoa, you can't measure a curtain, but you can find a dead body. I go, okay, you do you. Okay, you stay your own lane because, I still have normal things. But when I tell you that I am grateful for my life, and I am not just saying this, I am truly grateful. And I am really grateful for, I had, and I'm not even proud of what I'm about to tell you. I did a reading for somebody a couple days ago that I knew was not going to go well. And I tried to even get out of it. When that person contacted me and we were about to do the reading, I tried to talk them out of it. I said, I'll refund your money. And they're like, oh no, what are you talking about? I've waited for two months. I want to do it. And I go, okay, just want to make you know it's not all rainbows and unicorns. And she's like, yep, I know it's not. I'm prepared for the opposite of rainbows and unicorns. I thought, great. Okay, we did it. Sure enough, the next day she sent me this long, nasty text message and really nasty. And I read it and I did not get triggered. And I thought, now I got to send her love. And so I printed it out and it was laying on the table. And my husband saw it and he goes, oh, what are you going to do with this now? And I go, I'm going to send her love. And he goes, well, what? What do you mean send her love? And I go, well, that's what she needs. Michael, I would not have said that in February. It was after JonBenet, honestly. And so she changed my life.
I've seen your recordings beforehand. I've seen your recordings afterwards. I have you here in front of me. And we discussed it off air. So if it's okay to share, because this is for everyone. And I told you I was watching a really bad, I won't pick on the movie, a really bad movie where there was an actress. I just can't imagine what the director was doing. She was holding up a facade. She was afraid to show herself. She was afraid to drop the walls, to drop her guard, and to fully be her.
You're gonna make me cry because you're right, because you're nailing it. You've nailed it. Yes, yes.
So now, to use your vernacular, you are doing you. You have dropped. I can see it. Other people will see it. It's not a judgment. You're amazing. You were amazing. You're even more amazing now because you're in your, I'm going to call it God self. You're in your even more of that true, authentic self.
Yeah, I could never have imagined it happened. I'm sorry. I wish it would have happened before I was 58. Maybe it wasn't supposed to happen, but now,
Perfect timing.
But now, because even the people that I'm dealing with, people will write me after I do a reading and they'll be like, I'm sending you love. And I'm like, and they're like, I don't send love. So I don't know, so that seems abnormal too. But I really do believe, like, yes, a lot of terrible things happen in the world. And yes, we do have to participate in our own life and make our choices. But I think the answer to everything is love. And it sounds ridiculously simple, but simple, I think simple's the answer. It doesn't have to be complicated. Think of me. I could have went two ways. I could have taken this story and been really upset that my mother did this to me. And I hate to even say this, but I have a sister who's a year younger than me, and her life went the opposite of mine. Because of what happened to me, she became a drug addict. She has a really difficult life. And so when I think that could have been me, but it's not, I'm in awe. I'm also in awe because I'm looking at your book. Awe. So I'm in awe of you have a choice. You can make your life what you want it to be, because you're right. You are the creator. No matter what has happened, I almost feel like the worse it is, the luckier you are, because
I forgive me for cutting you off there. You've seen it. I know you've seen it, and you will see it because your timelines are all, I'm going to call it messed up, which means you get it.
Yes,
about
they
time.
are messed up. Yes,
But
yes.
you will be on the other side of the veil, being in cahoots, having a party basically with your mom. I'm going, I get it. I know why you spoke with my higher self. I know why you set me up. And thank you.
Yeah. I never thought I could have forgiven my mom either. Not only do I forgive her, so I forgave my kidnapper, which seemed crazy, and I forgave my mom, but now I actually think my mom wasn't even half bad of a parent, which seems nuts because she was. But when I think about, well, look at how I turned out. So I didn't just magically turn out, because again, I believe that we pick our journey. So my mom, think of my poor mom. My mom decided to be the villain. She was going to be this awful mother and do this to me to help me learn and evolve and help all these people. My mom deserves a medal. I mean, I would not even ever say Happy Mother's Day or I like you, but now I realize like how profound that is.
I feel like I need to call my mom. So later this week, I'm going to take so my mom, when I was a kid, we had my sister and I had a very rough childhood, and I love her so dearly. I can remember going to go a bike race, and my mom, I'm going down the stairs, the door's closed behind me, and my mom's opened the door and goes, "I hope you crash." And I actually turned to her and say, "Why? Why did you say this?" But this week, my mom and father go into an unassisted living home, and I get to go through the home and pull out the last possessions I want. I know I'm just going to bawl and fall apart. And the love is so strong. That childhood was apparently the childhood that I chose. Let's put myself not in the role of victim.
You chose your parents, number one.
Bingo.
Yeah, you chose your parents. You chose your life. They were actors in it to help you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I have nothing but love. And all of these situations where we look at people, okay, I feel like we're grandstanding. Is that the term? You can take a president. Maybe you hate President Trump, or you hate somebody else, and you can look at them and go, "That's the reason." No, this is all part of the setup. Okay, there's a battle, good and light. On there are different levels, but this is all here to set you up for your greatness. Period.
Yes.
Done deal.
I made a mistake. I did a podcast before the election, and I wasn't trying to predict the election, even though my big fat stupid mouth said I had never ever not predicted the right president since I was a kid, which is true. So that host ran on that and made me, say who I thought, whatever. And then the opposite happened. I said to my spirit guide, "Are you kidding?" No. I said this to all the, and of course it was, a podcast with a lot of views. I'm like, oh my, well, how am I going to deal with this? And so then my spirit guide goes, "You missed the message, because it doesn't matter who's president, okay? Because there's always going to be 4 periods of years. You like them, you don't. You like them, you don't. It's about how we handle it. Who needs to be president at that time for whatever reason, whatever personal reasons, whether we like or not." So then I said, okay. So then when I went on the next podcast, I said, okay, all right, but let's get out in the open. I know I said blah, blah, blah. I missed the point because I own it. I'm always still learning. It's not about who is the president. Who's the president is supposed to be the president. So if we have to white knuckle it, if we're going through a difficult time, do it. We can pick and choose. And if you feel strongly, then vote, participate, do things. But I don't think that stuff really matters. I think it's individual stuff that matters.
Thank you. What is it feels like a quickening of energy. It is such a powerful shift. And to me, it's no coinkydink that you popped now. You hit that next level of pop now in 25. What is this shifting of humanity that's going on that some call the great shift, but there's definitely something different going on. What is that to you? Where do you see us going from here?
Do you mean, okay,
as individuals? I know it's all part of the collective. We are all part of that collective, but individually we seem to be popping. We seem to be having what I call the WTF moment, left and right now.
Yes. Well, here's what I believe. So when I tell you that I've been doing readings for 45 years for a living full time, I'm not kidding. But to the point where, and I was doing it for a lot of reasons. I was good at it. I had a big following, but that was the only way to make money. I didn't go to college. I didn't have skills. And so I was making a lot of money, and I was able to do it. But I don't really need to do it now. I do so many readings to the point where I said to somebody recently, "Why am I doing so many?" But I realized here's why. And here's the answer to your question. Not that I think me personally, Annette Bricca, is going to save humanity one by one, but I do believe that when I do 6 readings in a day and I change just slightly the way that person feels or thinks or raises their vibration, now it's a ripple effect to all the people that they deal with. So it does help. So here I know, because a couple people have said to me, "So are you going to go on YouTube? Are you going to write a book? Are you going to whatever?" And I said, "No, I can't even get on YouTube." I mean, as you know, okay, we had some technical challenges.
We got through it together.
We did, but and I think that they were probably all me, the technical challenges. Okay, but so I don't think that I'm going to do all these 65 things. I think I'm going to do this one person at a time because I see that it will help. And I think that the reason why humanity has gotten to this point is it's not about any longer like, oh my God, poor me, I'm a victim. It's about, yeah, okay, yes, sucky things have happened. And I think that's why I was chosen. I had to have such horrific things happen to me so that I could really, and I think like even my spirit guide in the universe is like, why is it taking her so long to go on a podcast and tell her story? She had to be 57 years old, 56 years old before she told everybody. Because had I told everybody my story prior to that, I could have gotten there faster, but I didn't. So I think that if we all just do our part, it changes the world.
I would also add to that, even though you've gone through this whole journey, you may not have been ready to put the story out there to where you end up owning the story too much. There is a real danger of not just sharing the story, but then not even putting yourself emotionally back, but taking so much ownership that you're not focused on where the light wants to go.
You know what I'm gonna tell you? Okay, so you're gonna make me cry, which I should have known. I should have had tissues here. And so this is not anything that I've ever told anybody. So I used to tell people, you need to forgive. Forgiving somebody, it helps you more than it helps them. Blah, 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 blah. And I would tell everybody that for 45 years. I never forgave my mom, but I would say that I did. Until not only did I forgive her, which is only since JonBenet, which is 3 months ago, okay? But I was telling everybody, oh, I forgave her, but I didn't. I was actually like talking shit about her. I didn't forgive her. Now, and again, think about this. Not only do I forgive her and I love her and I send her love, and I think that she was a good parent because you did a good job. And I'm so sorry you had to go through what you did because think of her life, taking this on, after what she did to me, that I just I wasn't ready because I wanted to be mad at her. I wanted to not I wanted to just, even though I was doing readings and helping people, but I was never really, and I don't want to say I was acting through the readings because I thought I was doing the best, but it was complete because I have a lot of really famous clients who now say to me, your reading 3 months ago was a lot better or a lot different than 2 years ago because you're different. Because it took me to really forgive her for that to happen, which I never did.
So I hear you and thank you for sharing. And I'm going to dangerously extrapolate here, which is to say there is an addiction. And it's a challenge. I speak with everybody. I had Emilio Ortiz on the show last week. And it's a challenge for everybody in this industry. All of the thumbnails have turned dark. And if I say this is a show about light, nobody shows up anymore. They only show up if it's a
that's true. It is true. It's so bizarre to me.
And it is, there is this element inside of us having to do with your term forgiveness that we are, thank you, addicted. We are addicted to our wound. We are addicted to playing victim. We are then drawn to the darkness of that victimhood. You just sprang out of that victimhood and you cannot be put back in that box. Most people haven't done that yet. And so they're drawn like, something to nectar, whatever it is. I can't even think right now. Drawn to it, honey to nectar, I guess, to staying in that state of victimhood. If we can do one thing today, it's to say, no matter what was done to you, if you can forgive, truly forgive that person. Actually, go beyond forgive that person because we don't know the term forgiveness. Give thanks to that person.
Thank them and send them love because forgiveness is a word that you can say because I said it for 45 years. I forgive her. I was telling my clients I forgave her. And even I thought I forgave her. And then my daughter, who's 28 now, saw a medium a couple times. Is like, you owe me $500. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, well, your mom kept coming through and she wants you to forgive her. And so now you owe me, she hijacked my reading. I go, okay, well, I'm not doing it. And so that medium would say, all right, come back next week to my daughter. She would, and the same thing would happen. Emily's like, you owe me now you owe me $1,000. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Okay. So, because I was saying I forgave her, but I never really did because I don't just forgive her. I love her. I love the sacrifice that she made to help me because I really do help all these people. All these people, when I do these missing children cases, and sometimes they're people, but they're mostly missing children. Most of the time, I don't find them alive. Most of the time, they're not, but it gives them closure, the family, and a person deserves to be found, and we all deserve to rest and be put at rest. And when I was 13 and I was dealing with this, and I had found a pair of twins, and I said this on a podcast, that were in two different states that were not alive, and it took a long time for me to like 12 hours. And I thought, had I been better at this, I could have helped, save them. And when we found out, like from like logistically, that it couldn't have happened any other way, the mother wanted to meet with me, and I'm 13, I'm scared, I don't want her to meet with me, and she requested to meet with me, and I did. And I thought, okay, well, once she curses me out, I'm just gonna be 13. I'm done with this. She hugged me to the point where like I can feel the hug now. She wouldn't let go, and she says to me, I want to thank you because you've given me hope, because now I can move on. If it wasn't for you, I would have always been searching for my kids. So now I can move on. She goes, but I want to for you to have hope so that you can continue to do this work because it matters. Because I was going to throw in the towel at 13. I wasn't even old enough to have a career, and I was already going to retire from the career. Okay. So now with JonBenet, I am, listen, the nonsense things that happen. My FedEx guy, he used to make me, he would ring the doorbell during a reading that I would have to sign for a package, and I would write him letters and say, just leave it, leave it, leave it. Now I like sprint to the door. Nothing bothers me because I feel lucky. I feel fortunate. I feel grateful and thankful. And I feel like if, I know this sounds ridiculous, and I know if it's not like, who do I think I am? I think that I can independently spread love throughout the world. That's like my mission. That actually is my mission. That's what I want to do. I just want to talk to as many people as possible and say, when they say, what am I supposed to do? Because that's what everyone wants to know. Go love the world. Find the people you don't love, number one, because it's easy to love your puppy, easy to love a cupcake. Go love the person that you don't love, and then see how your life changes, because it does. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel too, even though I'm crying. Yeah.
It's funny. So I'm looking at the screen. You've got all these questions that I've thrown out. And I look at the one question that's here right now. It's number 8 on my list. If you could scream one wake-up call to spiritually curious folks, what would it be? And I know what you're going to say.
I would not have said it 4 months ago. But it is, because I didn't ever get it. I didn't get it until JonBenet, of all people. Okay. And I thought, you know what? And I don't want to say that I have a big ego, because I don't think so. But I mean, I must have had some ego if I thought that, because I wasn't doing cold cases. I was doing missing children. So all of a sudden I had this opportunity to do her, and I thought I was going to crack her case. Like, look at me. And when she came through and said, listen, no, you're not. You're not going to crack my case. You're going to spread love. And I said, okay, no problem. She's like, yeah, but you don't even know how to. You don't even get it. And I go, okay, well then show me. And then, somebody asked me, well, explain it. I can't even put it into words, because it's like when I had the near-death experience, when I try to tell people in words what that was like, I saw colors that don't exist. I heard music that doesn't exist. I heard like music that was a color. I heard language that was, so everything is different. It's just, there's no human words to describe it. When she showed me love, I've had a lot of clients recently who said, can you do a workshop about teaching love? I said, if I knew how, I would be happy to. I don't know how to
We just put you on stage. That's it. You don't have to do anything. You are love. And so many people are, but you have dropped your guards to it.
I think you're right, because listen, I kept saying to my spirit guide, please quit having people ask me to do this, because what am I going to do? I don't know how to tell somebody how to love. But I think you might be right, because it's not step 1, 2, and 3. It's not that, because once you have the feeling, you don't not have the feeling, to the point where my husband says, can we just go into the grocery store and get out in 5 minutes and stop loving everybody? And I go, well, either you wait in the car or I wait in the car, because I can't make promises. I mean, that's actually how stupid this is now. I am just loving the world. It seems kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, as a kid, I had so many trouble making friends. Now I would have trouble getting through the grocery store. And it's not that anybody would
Yes,
recognize me. It
yes,
has nothing to do with
yes,
that.
yes.
It is the energy just that you're putting out there that everybody can put out here. Once we start doing what you're doing now, dropping that guard and living from that place, you don't have to say, well, I'm going to live from the heart. You just are heart. That's
Yeah.
so what you
Listen,
are.
listen.
Just
If JonBenet would have said to me, "I'm going to help you," if she would have told me what she was going to do before she did, I would have said, "No, I don't want to love my kidnapper. No, I'm not in. I'm not interested. Good, I'll just get on the next flight. I'm going home." When she did it though, and it changed my entire life and everything about my life, and it even changed, like, there's a lot of people, a few people around me that I know that they're about to pass. That would normally, from a human perspective, I would be really kind of sad, even though spiritually I know good for them. I don't even feel that way anymore. I feel so like I'm just vibrate so high that I see through everything that I like, I used to, okay, I don't want to offend anybody, which I know I'm going to offend them, but I have a point here.
you're going to have
I
a hard time offending. And this
yeah,
this is such a loving audience, and
watch,
everybody who's
watch.
watching this.
Well, they'll be offended for 1 second, then they won't. So I used to say people were tree huggers. Okay. I actually
I
hugged
taught
the
tree
tree.
hugging at Kropali, by the way.
Listen, listen, I'm not surprised. I hugged my tree yesterday. My husband said to me, "I don't think that tree's doing a good job. It's not healthy." And I said, "Well, I'm going to make it healthy." And he goes, "Oh, well, pesticides." I go, "No." I hugged it. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm loving the tree." He goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, I think I got to send you love too because you're not getting it." But I do believe that is at the core of everything. That is it. So if you see me do a workshop titled Love, and I'm just standing there, you know,
Sign
then
me up.
then you get all the credit, or I'm gonna blame you because I don't.
I'm okay with that.
Because
That's our
honestly,
mission.
if you had to describe love, how would you describe it? Could you describe it in words?
I would describe it as go and hold your baby again. Go and hold a puppy again. Go and hold the most magnificent experience that you ever had, the most
Yes,
elative
yes,
experience of your
yes,
life,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
bathe yourself awash in that energy. Forget about the words.
Yes, yes. You're right about that. Because when I do a reading, before we start, I tell people, think about anything at all that would make you vibrate the highest. And they're like, "Well, I have no idea." And I say, "Well, think about winning the lottery." Because everyone, for 1 second, if you think about winning the lottery, you go on a shopping spree in your head, you're going to quit your job, you're going to buy a new house, you can get there. So I said, think of whatever would make you get there quick and then just sit with it. Just keep vibrating that way. And I think you're right. I think that is probably really what love is. But I just never thought of it that way.
So I'm petting Sir Meowsers now.
I'm petting my dog friend. Yeah, yeah,
There you
yeah,
go. This is
yeah,
pure love.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Without
yeah.
thought, this is it. And if we can live in this state, so we talk about a shift, we talk about higher conscious. This is it. It's just embodying this more, which is to me easier to do, even or especially because of the polarity right now. If we can embody this more, we A, create more of it, we B, live differently, we C, have different experiences. But even if the experiences were the same, we're in more of that place going full circle of celebration rather than why did this happen to me?
Absolutely, because it is a ripple effect, and then it is collectively, because now it's not just you, now it's your collective team, and then their team, and then it's synergy at its finest. And I'm not a genius, and but I live it, I know it, and I want to live forever to just I have so many people that sometimes people say, "Well, I don't even know why I'm calling you. I don't have a reason." I go, "Well, then we'll just both breathe on the phone. We'll just, do this." But it makes a difference.
And that gets to a whole nother point, which is the infection and affection and effection that you have by doing you at the highest level. You doing you at the highest level, which is bringing your gifts to the world, but also just by vibrating as you. I'm convinced, and this is going to now we're really taking a leap of faith, that there's somebody who's going to do something like what was done to you or like was done to those 7 girls, and for some inexplicable reason stops, and we will have no idea why, except what happens is we can call it a rising tide raises all ships, but the symphony changes tune. It attunes to a higher frequency.
I never, ever, 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 I honestly, until you just said that, that has never occurred to me actually, even. But I think you're right. I think that, oh my God. Okay, this is a big cry fest. Okay. Yes, I think you're right. I mean, because, and think about that, and when I think about my life and what I've gone through, I mean, I would go through it 100 times. I'm like, okay, I could handle more, bring me more, because you know, people that are in such grief and have such like really like such not just trauma, because it's not even trauma. They can't manage life. So I said, okay, here's the good news. You don't have real trauma. You just can't make decisions. I'll help you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna be your cheerleader. I'm not just your cheerleader right now. Anytime you need me, text me. My husband said to me, don't you think this is a little crazy? I go, no, because I mean it. Because I know what it felt like being that person. I want you to live the best life you can live. So if you need to talk to me one time or 50 times, then let's do it. Let's get you to the point where you have the best life that you can have so that everybody that you deal with has it. Because I think that is the whole meaning of life. That is why we're here.
Woohoo!
I feel like, you know what? I feel like I want yellow glasses now. I do it. I don't want to copy you, which I obviously will be, but
I need to send you a pair, Mary.
I have a bigger head than you, so I have to have a different shape. But
Yep.
yeah, you're gonna see me. You know what? I'm gonna just tell you right now, I'm getting yellow glasses.
I can't wait to see it. And I have tried all sorts of colors, and my daughter, her favorite color is red, so she'll try putting red on me, and then we always go back to yellow.
Wait, do you have red? Do you have red with you?
Oh yeah. If we pause for 30 seconds, I will have red on me.
Yeah,
Actually,
I want to see it. I want to see them.
hold on. This I got in shorter time.
Oh, I love them, but I love the yellow more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you had black on, I'd say the red are better, but the yellow are the best. So, all right, people. Yeah, we're gonna look like I was gonna say brother and sister, but I'm probably way older than you. So I'm like probably your mother, not your sister. But yeah,
We would have been in high school at the same time.
no way. What
Yeah.
year were you born?
What year? 70.
Oh, 67. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
You'd
Well,
be a senior, I'd be a freshman.
yeah, well, the good and bad news is you look young. Okay, it looks like I was in 67. You look like you were.
You look young too.
No, but that's okay. I'll take it. I'm just happy to live my life, whatever it is. But you look like a kid.
Thank you.
Wait, how old are you?
I'll be
You're
55 in a few months. Yeah, 2 months.
So you're like the speed limit. Your age is going to be the speed limit. You don't
Yeah.
look like that.
Carter. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You look like you're 40.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's all.
So, and when I talk about doing the racing, I do the races. I don't do the races with the old folk races. I just go out and compete and play with everybody. So I don't.
can see that.
I'm
I can see-
55. I just go play.
Why don't you think they would believe you're 55? I think they'd be like, bring us your birth certificate because you can't qualify for this race because you're too young. But yeah, no.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And I want to thank you for this opportunity because I have never, ever even had a discussion like this with anybody on the planet. And I feel like I felt like so good before I got on the show, but I feel like, you brought an awareness to me that I wasn't even aware of that even now further shifts it. Yeah.
It means I did my job, and that is the greatest compliment in the world. And I always, hope isn't the right thing because I don't have we all, yes, I have an ego in the game, but I don't have an ego in the game. Like I need to hear something, but that's the greatest compliment that you've given me. A, B, I'm doing what you're doing. I'm just exuding love. And what happens is when you exude love, people have epiphanies, people pop, people's guard come down, all sorts of stuff happens. That's, yes, okay, I'm guiding, but I just threw out all my questions here. In fact, for at least half of this, I didn't say a word because you felt in a safe field.
Yeah, because, but I mean, so you're going to be humble. You're more than that. I mean, because you are doing what you're doing and who you are because you are much more evolved than the average person. So you can, you're there where I probably never will be, but you've already helped me tremendously I mean, I don't think I mean, the JonBenet thing was one of the most impactful things that have happened in my life. This is right up there because this has shown me a different layer of that I would not have seen.
Thank you. I'm gonna take those kudos and I'm jump off of them. Get self-conscious and jump off of them. There's one question I've been meaning to ask you for you. It doesn't even have to do it. People will benefit from hearing it, but and then we'll do a couple wrap-up questions. But Have you decided to keep the channel open with JonBenet for you?
It is open. Yeah, she's come to me many times. Yeah. And it's never about her life. It's about me. It's about her helping me. So here's this little 6-year-old cutie pie that's, 30 years ago this happened. And
That's
she's
really
helping
your
me.
master.
Yeah. I mean, she's not, she's like, oh, like my manager, like I'm working for her now. Yeah. She's like telling me what to do. So yeah, not only is it not open, I mean, I feel like she doesn't even care if it's open. She just walks through the door. She's just secure. So yes. And that's, an unbelievable gift for sure. And she's helped me solve 2 cases that because of her, she makes me, because again, I'm vibrating from pure love. So I can get to, when I do a missing person case, I just get there quick. So I like so quick that I like question myself, like, wait, do I have this right? She helps me find I have found 2 bodies in the last 2 weeks that sometimes, it takes years. She's just like, nope, here, here, here. And I'm like, wow. I mean, it's really, yeah. So is it open with her? I hope it's open forever. I hope that, yeah. Yeah, I'll happily be JonBenet Ramsey's assistant or worker or employee for the rest of my life. Yes, it feels good.
I hear until the student becomes the master.
Well, I don't know if I could be the master, but it's pretty, isn't it amazing when you think about that how that has happened?
I have my daughter Hannah Bear, and I don't try to always talk about the story because I don't like we were saying, don't anchor in the story, but it is her twin sister who transitioned back in utero, who's now my main guide, who comes through every single
Yes,
day.
yes, 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 yes. Wow. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
get it. All right. We get to begin to wrap things up. First off, where can people go to find your work, to find everything that have you on, to find your website, find out more?
It is AnnetteBricca.com.
Perfect. And we will have that down below. And then, okay, 2 last questions. First off, what is the wildest, most positive prediction you're hearing or feeling or seeing for the future for all of us? I'm bringing it to the light.
Well, okay, this sounds crazy, okay, because it's not what you're going to expect. Because like I said, like when I was asked the other day, would we bomb Iran? And I said yes, and then we did. What I believe the biggest prediction will be that people are about to be less fired up. So all this craziness that's going on in the world, like every single time you turn on the news, everyone's like, oh my God. I actually think people are going to calm down. I think like immediately that they will just be like, okay, well, this is just the same day, different thing, but because we're feeding into it, we're making like mass hysteria. It's like we're create chaos because if somebody wanted to create chaos, but nobody was going for it, it couldn't happen. So we allow this to happen. So I believe that the prediction is that things don't get worse. Things are going to start to get better because we are like, no, I'm not gonna spend all my free time watching CNN or whatever and getting all freaked out about people I don't know about and what's happening. I'm gonna do me and I'm gonna spread that. And I think that people will feel like they're being selfish, but I think it's like we said that we both say, do you? I think that's what's gonna happen.
Thank you. And then last, what brings you the greatest hope or joy? I think we just got that out of JonBenet, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What brings you the greatest hope for the future? For hope for future, for you, for me, for our kids, for all of us?
Well, my biggest hope, and it's not a hope because I know it's going to happen because I'm going to make it happen. I am going to not let one single person, if you don't know me and you're going to meet me, be ready to be just loving everybody. Okay. Because you're not going to leave my sight until you have that feeling. So my hope is that I can spread it, but that I'm known for it. Like, and not because I want to be known for anything, but then I go so high level that people are like, wow, okay, I didn't even, she just John Benet me. I'd like to just John Benet everybody. That, I just
I
coined it.
can't believe we've just turned that you have just turned that into a verb in the most beautiful way.
Yes, yes, but I would like to Jean Benet the world because it is amazing. And so that is my hope, to go out there and JonBenet a couple people. I'm going to JonBenet the guy who's cut my grass. I'm going to go JonBenet my dog groomer. I'm going to JonBenet, because what's better than that? There's nothing. Yeah. And I want to thank you, because I knew today was going to be really great. I knew when I was blow drying my hair, it was going to be an amazing day. I knew that it would be kind of life altering, but I thought, well, how could it be? Honestly, I thought, okay, well, same old thing. I mean, if this was the last podcast I ever did, okay, now you're going to, again, make me cry.
You're making me cry.
I would be like, I did it. This is great. We JonBenet each other, and I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. I do.
I don't have words.
No, I don't have words either, but I am going to have yellow glasses. I can tell you that. I'm going to be on a stage somewhere, JonBeneting everybody with yellow glasses. So I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, you own it.
Yeah. I don't know how.
We'll talk copyright later on.
Yeah, your attorney. Yeah, your people will contact my people. Yeah, but I mean,
my people is Sir Meowsers.
Yeah, I have one person who, as you know, is a family relative who works for me, who's not available, who's in the Hamptons. So yeah, so I have 0 people. So you upped me, but thank you, because you are doing such great work and helping so many people. And I don't want to think that I thought I was, couldn't be helped with anything, but I feel like that people that are watching this, I feel like this is just you and I sitting in the living room, and you're, like you were my therapist, and I'm like, oh my God, you're worth every bit of the copay. And you would be. I would not even try to haggle the copay down. I'd be like, you know what? I don't have change for 50. You can just keep the whole thing. It's all for you. Yeah.
Come watch Inspire Nation. It's worth the copay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Thank you so much. It turned into a love fest in the most beautiful way. Turned into a JonBenet. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it has turned into a JonBenet fest. So it is a verb and a noun.
Yeah. We just, I think we changed like the English language a little bit. Yeah. I'm going to go JonBenet people.
I love it. And I JonBenet you.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, have a great day. Thank you.
You're so welcome. For everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, JonBenet the world, and above and beyond all, JonBenet yourself today.
Yes. Okay, good. Yes.
And then above and beyond all else, shine bright.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, this was amazing, Annette.
I'm grateful to you.
Wow. I guess I don't have words. I know I'm often going, wow. This was special. This was sacred. This is you. You are this love as well. You are this love. On that note, if you want to live at this highest level, if you want to be in this love, be this love, exude the love that you are, come join us with the School of Mystics, live or recorded, 4 Wednesdays each and every month. We come together as a group. We get together. We shift your vibration with attunements, with energy transmissions, with teachings, with clearings, and so much pure goodness, group intention, meditations, and so much more. That's the School of Mystics. That's the link down below. If you simply want to have your vibration come up on a daily basis, come on over to dailywoohoo.com, where I send you a daily energy transmission as well. And if you do want to learn how to channel, connect with the other side, angels, guides, loved ones, even JonBenet, or whomever it may be, and I do not say this lightly, simply go to automaticwriting.com. Live classes once a month. Plus, I'm going to have a recorded program for you there, waiting for you with your name on it, so you can begin channeling tomorrow morning. That's automaticwriting.com. Here's a link to the next amazing show. Love you so much. Keep on shining bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? Love. That's what you are. That's who you are. And that's everything about you. I love you. I love you. I love you.